In the famous Pascal's wager argument, French philosopher Blaise Pascal posited that it may be better for one to believe in a God who sends people to heaven or hell based on their belief, and indeed live one's life that way, rather than risk not doing so. He posited the following. 1. If you believe in God and God exists, you gain infinite happiness, heaven. 2. If you believe in God and God doesn't exist, you lose very little, a finite amount of time or effort. 3. If you don't believe in God and God exists, you risk infinite torment and suffering, hell. 4. If you don't believe in God and God doesn't exist, you gain very little. The logical conclusion then, many theists would argue, is that we should live life under the assumption that Christianity, or whatever it may be, is true. Because it's safer to live a finite life where one misses a few pleasures than burn in hell for all eternity. But I'd like to propose a vegan wager, inspired by Pascal's arguments, that implies it's better for theists to live as vegans. Now, if you're a God-fearing person watching this video who is not yet vegan, you may well have come across arguments before from people of your religion that would appear to condone the use of animals for food, clothing and labour. Perhaps alleged God-given teachings saying that we have dominion over non-human animals. There's so much context surrounding these verses from a pro-animal rights perspective that it'd require a whole other video about this. So instead I'd advise you to watch groundbreaking documentaries like Christspiracy, itself made by a Christian, or speak to vegans of your religious faith to see an alternate interpretation of such verses you may not have come across before. But for those of you who do not believe your God would actually punish you for being merciful and peaceful towards your fellow creatures whom we share this planet with, I'd like to propose the following vegan version of Pascal's wager. 1. If you live as a vegan and God exists, you avoid causing animals unnecessary torment and suffering. A loving and just God would likely reward your kindness rather than punish you for showing mercy. 2. If you live as a vegan and God does not exist, you avoid causing animals torment and suffering, which you would have otherwise needlessly caused by using theistic justifications to oppress animals. 3. If you don't live as a vegan and God exists, you risk offending God by causing animals needless torment and suffering, which may be seen as a sin in the eyes of an all-good and just creator. 4. If you don't live as a vegan and God does not exist, you cause animals unnecessary torment and suffering for no higher purpose, based on a false belief that you had divine permission to do so. Conclusion. It's better to be vegan whether or not God exists.